Hello, I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. I've taken a few days to do some necessary household chores because you know the real world does impinge on art sometimes. But it's over now, and I decided to get back to my big folded journal, particularly this page. And shock upon shock, I actually have kind of a semi-plan in mind. I wanted somehow to make a circular pattern around this cutout. And I did not want to use a regular compass with a pencil because that would require that I followed that line around with a permanent marker, and I've been down that road before, and that's nerve-wracking beyond anything. So I said to myself, why couldn't I use the compass with one of my permanent pens? And when I used this and removed these pieces, which held the pencil in place here, and since my husband wasn't around to hand him this job, I decided that I would try attaching with something as simple as rubber bands, and my little experiments would tell me that I think it's going to work. It's going to all be in the amount of pressure that I put on this tip. So I'm going to stand up so that I can hang over this. Alrighty, here we go. Wish me luck. Wow. My. Now I can breathe again. It worked. I just removed the two pieces that were here to hold the little pencil. And I picked my Faber-Castell, and as luck would have it, it worked. All right, that mission accomplished. Now, I also thought I wanted some gold on here. So, let's see if we can make this next part of this project work. And I am so happy that I do not have to go around over a pencil line, because I don't think it would look as nice as this, and I cannot believe how that turned out. I guess that was my reward. All right, now the brightest gold is my red gold, so I'm going to get that nice and juicy. Going to put this tape on my clothes so that I can take some of the stick-to-itivity off it. And one more. Now I've done this before with this Densai Tombi Starry Colors in Gold, and it was very satisfactory. I'll be using my Princeton number 8 filbert, and you'll notice how very, very thick and soupy this gold paint becomes. It's just wonderful, and I do believe that's why it has such a beautiful gold color. This is such a satisfactory way to apply this gold to watercolor paper. Just a little bit more water there. Back up over it and dry off a little excess water. Alrighty, fingers crossed. That's one. And two. The trick is to not leave the tape on for very long, to make sure you try to get some of the stickiness off by tapping it onto your clothing. And the third one, tip that I have is that I learned yesterday watching Creation CC on a YouTube channel, and she learned from someone else that if you apply a little bit of heat to the tape, it will keep it from ripping the layers of the paper. And it worked beautifully for her, and I think it worked very nicely. Now, let's see what we have now. Oh my. Yes. Just something to play up the length and the size of this watercolor journal, because this brings the eye to this section and it is around and the eye travels in circles here. I wanted to do something to make it flow up. That's the theory. That's the experiment. I'm tickled that I was lucky with this. And now I'm going to get out some more things that I'm going to be using in this area now. I'll be back in a few minutes. Since plans, as far as I'm concerned in art, are only as good as their exceptions, I had decided that since these were flowers and I'm going to be doing more, these were the leaves, the only leaves that I would have on this spread. However, I thought I would work a green pattern to give the concept of the leaves in this area. Then I looked at this empty space and said, no, that would be a little bit too much. So let's have a flower which will work as a resist when I use watercolor. Now the trick here is my less is more concept, and I'd rather do this twice than put too much color on at one time. So here we go. Go with some lighter pink. And some lighter pink yet around the edge. Little more with the darkest one in there, and let's have a peek. Okay. I think yes. And maybe just one more, whoops, up there. This one. The other way, Carol. I'll decide. I'm going to decide that that's just fine. Now I can get back to my original plan. And for those pink flowers, I used Ceramcoat Fuchsia for my darkest shade, Ceramcoat Pink Quartz for my mid shade, and my much loved Standby Magnolia White. Done. Alrighty. Excuse my reach. This is my cleanup book. Good. Now, for my watercolor. Gave my sponge a trim for the next go-round. Yes. Alrighty. For my greens, I'm going to be using Winsor Newton Olive Green and Daniel Smith Green Gold. And over here, my, I believe I'm going to be using, I'm thinking it's Grumbacher, it's been a while, Sap Green and a little Hooker's Green. Okay, and we're off. Just a touch of olive green over on this side. go. I'll try to get rid of some of these hard edges, but I'm not going to obsess about that, because this is only going to be a background. A little bit more of this over here. Now, my very favorite green gold. That's resisting nicely. Do love this 1/2-inch Princeton oval mop brush because it does lay down the color and yet seems to be quite controllable. Yes. Mission accomplished. Now I'm going to dry this and clear off my watercolors and then go on. I'll be right back. I've worked a little bit more on these two flowers the same way that I did this one. And the purple flower, the center is Pansy. The medium color is GP Purple, and the lighter shade is Sweet Pea. For this one, the darker circle is, the center is a mixture of Ceramcoat's OJ and Old Parchment, and then the lighter shade is Buttercream. And I seem to have run up against a wall, so I'm thinking, and I'll be back with you. Well, as you can see, I used the stencil as a template for these flowers, and I have gone over each one of them. Oh, I did them first in pencil, and I've gone over each one of them in my handy dandy Pilot G2 number 10 Walmart. And I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to, as I've done with other pieces in this journal, let it go to the back burner of my muse and wait until she tells me where I should go from here. I do hope that you have enjoyed watching me begin this piece. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would certainly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Bye now.